Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very special Burly Bird Live, wrapping out our 2024 streams and podcasts. I'm joined by the DJ from Knockout City, my legendary co-host from Dulcet Tones, our performing arts podcast, and I'm thrilled to say a dear friend of mine, Mr. Stephen Murray. Stephen, good evening from across the pond. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me here tonight. You know, it's great to wrap up the year with this stream with you and do something a little new for me as an voice actor, and also to enjoy your amazing gameplay to be of Call of Duty.
Absolutely, we're playing some Black Ops 6 tonight, and just to give just a bit of context, I know how spoiled I am. I've surrounded myself with people that I truly care about. I've got my dearest best friend Mike, who couldn't be here tonight. He sends his well wishes, but I have worked on gaming content and podcasts and streams with him since we were teenagers. So for over 2 decades, and I'm very, very fortunate to have him involved and doing what we do every single week. And to wrap up our 2024, Stephen, Mike, and I, we've been talking sort of, off air about how much we'd love to do a sort of a shoutcasted improv style live stream, something a bit different that we've obviously going to be figuring out live in front of you as well. But it all stemmed from a stream that Mike and I did several weeks ago on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I think it might have been one of the first times we were playing it. And I was just getting pillaged. I was just getting absolutely ruined by a guy with a knife who'd just be running around. He literally would just run around with a knife. And apparently I was the only one being killed by him. Like, it felt targeted. It was very, very specific to me. And this nickname, I don't actually know who ever uttered the words Nigel Knife first. I don't know whether that came from you, Stephen, in the chat, if Mike said it, if I said it. I feel like it might have been you in the Twitch chat when you were watching live.
I think it was because you were getting knifed, and then I love alliteration, so I was like, hey, we're gonna create this character called Nigel Knife, and he's just gonna lay into both of you guys during gameplay, when he seems fit.
Which, by the way,
he sees that's fit.
It was already funny. It was already good because the idea of having an alliteration with a different starting letter, just because it sounds the same, Nigel Knife.
Exactly.
It was already funny immediately, just from a slightly, there's me with my English degree, quote unquote. But just the notion of this guy having an identity that then sort of spawned this whole recurring bit where Stephen would essentially... It felt like I was being roasted. Like, anytime Mike and I were then streaming, Stephen would very kindly jump into chat, and he'd be hitting us with sort of like Nigel Knife's thoughts, as if he was continuing to haunt us and our gameplay, even though he was never actually playing the game with us. We would get these quotations, these one-liners, these little bits that would occur in the Twitch chat, all from Stephen just off the top of your head. And consistently it was something we would always refer to in the chat, like we'd be streaming, and it would always be something we'd go to. It was always such a treat to be able to have that there as like a sort of a knowing one-liner that was always really fun. Duchess711, good evening. DJ on the Moon, yes, good reference to Knockout City there, amazing. And yes, Mike, you're absolutely right. He does mainly haunt me. It's definitely... I've had references to my rugby thighs. I've had all kinds of shit been thrown at me from, several thousand miles away. So we're going to be looking to continue that tonight. I'm very lucky we've got Stephen joining us live. And I think sort of the idea is we're going to be kind of like doing just like a constant switch, like in and out of character. And anytime Stephen decides to sort of shoutcast some of my gameplay and then just rip me a new one, he'll be doing it in character as Nigel Knife. I should say, Stephen, by the way, you are looking sharp tonight, sir. You are looking ready. And
I mean, this is because of Nigel. It really is. This is the attire that I assume Nigel would wear. So since I will be Nigel throughout the night, I've got to be dressed as Nigel to harness the Nigelisms that I'll be throwing out there.
Well, I mean, straight away, that's now a coined phrase, isn't it? Nigelisms. That's now
sure.
That's now a thing, right? Which is great. Duchess711 actually agreed with me before I said it. Nigel Knife is very sharp. Coming in with a dad joke there, which is just exactly what I needed. So thank you for that. Let's do a little mixture of modes, I think.
Sure.
We've got
some... I'm just going to be in and out of character, so
yeah.
I might as well start off with a little bit of Nigel and just be like, it's truly a pleasure for you to have me here tonight.
That is...
Where is that little rubbish rodent? What's his name? Mongoose General. He's not around. Which is it's so trite not to have rubbish rodent Mongoose General. He's so cute to look at and make fun of. Nigel Knife.
Dash Nigel Knife. Yeah, I was going to say, you had to finish the quote by quoting yourself there, absolutely. By the way, Rubbish Rodent, Mike, that has to be on the list of, like, our alternate gamer tags, because I have Captain Johnway as an alternate. I actually have that. I use that as an Epic account ID. Romula John, which was a bit of a stretch, taking Romulan and trying to stick John on the end of it. I think Rubbish Rodent needs to now be an alternate. It's got to be an alternate for us, for sure. So, there we go. We're going to dive into some Team Deathmatch, Domination, Hardpoint, and Kill Confirmed. Did you intend, by the way, for Nigel Knife's accent to sort of nearly become Christopher Walken at the start? There was like a slight edge to that.
That was unintentional.
Okay.
As I was just finishing a drink, he was not going to be sounding like that, no. But it's yes, the diction turns into a little bit of Christopher Walken for a second, but then he's like, "No, I'm not from that part of the world. I'm not from
world.
I'm across the pond somewhere else." So
This is...
yeah.
Thanks for validating. Oh, Nigel Knife. That's why. That's why we're doing this. You've just validated this entire point, just mainly for my own amusement and hopefully for others as well. Mongoose jumping into the chat. Feels like it should be my Rocket League name. Yeah, there's Rubbish Rodent. Definitely feels like coming in with the alliteration. That has to be an alternate for you for sure. I don't think I could ever get rid of Klingon. I've had that since I was 12 on the original Xbox. And I've used it on every platform. It's on Switch, it's on PlayStation as well. But I do have my alts. I do have like Captain Johnway as my alternate on things like Epic Game Store. So Rubbish Rodent is now definitely in rotation, for sure.
Ding Jong, are you like a cousin to Kim Jong Un? Or something of the sort? It's called wordplay. Oh my, Nigel Knife.
Oh my! George Takei coming in there as well. This is great. Did you intend for Nigel, and also a voice crack, did you intend for Nigel Knife to be sort of slightly schizophrenic? Like, the switches going on right now are wild.
Yeah. I also
love
didn't
it.
intend him to be in and out of character.
No, it's great. This is great. Oh, I've been flashed. That's no good. Pillaging. Okay. Want to flash someone, but I don't know where he is. Oh, he's... Oh. Okay.
If you flash someone, there's a good chance to be in jail for the next 10 to 15. Not saying that's a bad thing. I've met quite a nice good fellows in jail as well.
Nigel Knife.
Nigel Knife.
Oh, that one was sort of sultry. That had a different flavour to it. That's great.
He's evolving. The character's evolving.
No, it's great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's not like he's not a pre-written book. You know what I mean? Like there's more to. It's nuance to Nigel Knife. Oh, we outplayed that.
He's
guy.
about 45 minutes of work, so there's definitely nuance.
Yeah, for sure.
He's ever growing.
You know what, actually, and what a great segue, because I've never actually asked you this on a podcast, and maybe I should save it, as I say on System Link all the time with Mike, but take this bit, take Nigel Knife. How did you find the voice? How do you do it? Is it truly what comes out? Like, you just have like do you have a preconceived idea for something like that when you're developing a character? Oh, you do? Okay, it does start with a sort of preconceived concept.
That character is based off the writing concept. So
Got it.
That was based off of the words I was writing and the delivery in my mind. It seemed like it would be the most smug and just arrogant. And the voice latched on the fact that it was like slightly British, and I'm talking to an authentic person that is British, and you know, the Rubbish Rodent was here too, be the same. But that was the idea. So it's the extra layer of like, wow, it's arrogant. That you're going to do that with your American accent, and you're going to be doing your British accent, and you're going to be doing that type of British voice as well. So yeah, that was the idea.
That's great. And actually, that you've as this continues to evolve live, is I do feel like that I almost want to now like ask Nigel a question, a podcast style question in character.
Ask away, young man.
So So,
Yeah.
sorry, I need to breathe. Okay. Nigel, I was curious. What's your background? I mean, you seem to be pretty knowledgeable. You seem like a very well-educated guy. What's your background? What's your education?
Well, when it comes to education, it's more of my birth. Of course, I was birthed in Britain, and then I moved to the better part of Britain known as America. Yes, of course, where the streets are paved with gold and the water has fluoride in it, if you know what I mean. So yes, education is homeschool, nannies, 1, 2, 3. I forgot the names, but and then I've read, of course, the Google, and henceforth I'm here now, full of Google for you.
Trigger and scalpel.
I'm full of Google for you. Thank you for just all of the future like postcard / t-shirt ideas that you're giving me for this.
Sorry about the fluoride joke.
No, I really like that. There's I have a gentleman who is just an absolute, genuine legend, much like yourself, much like Mike. I've surrounded myself with some really talented, creative people. Shout out to Jeff Mumm, who is the illustrator who created the Burly Bird logo. Off of a brief that essentially was like the sort of terrible AI mock-up that I gave him of just like what I wanted, which was like a fat chicken playing video games. And he took that terrible thing and created what basically was really like 2 drafts of the Burly Bird logo. And it was brilliant. And all I asked him to do was add more fat rolls, and he did it. And I kind of want him to sort of illustrate Nigel Knife. I kind of want to find a way to get him into something Burly Bird related. I think there's room for him to now to be spawned and to exist in another form, I think.
Of course. Jeff, less fat rolls, more brain rolls. Nigel Knife, I don't make sense, but it sounds wonderful because I'm British.
It does. Everything sounds more eloquent just because you put an accent on. Right, going for a Rod of Destiny. I missed. That is no. Oh, I've got another one. Let's go again. I actually zeroed in on that sniper. He had no chance at life. That is delightful. Early Christmas at the grandparents, Big Manny. Oh, dude, Merry Christmas. Well, thank you so much even for just jumping into chat briefly. It's great to see you. One of our biggest and best supporters. Ever since day one, actually, ever since we launched our live streaming. So thank you, Big Manny. That is very much appreciated. Mike confirming that the Nigel Knife at the end is totally the icing on the cake for these quotes. That was all Stephen. That all came from you, dude. And I'm happy to say that I had nothing to do with that. I can give you full credit. Because it's the button that those quotations need. Ooh, get done, my friend. Get pillaged. Oh, and I just got ruined. Nigel, how do you deal with gamers rage? You know what I mean? Like, if you keep losing, I find myself sometimes I get quite frustrated when I play games. How do you deal with that? Like, how do you manage loss?
But I would say I don't lose ever. But judging by your gameplay, if this continues, the next step would be, of course, to rage quit, then head over to your opponent's house to have some cookie dough before their parents get home from work. You're such a child, Nigel Knife.
Nigel Knife's getting quicker at the end as well. I don't know whether that was deliberate, but that is getting faster every time you say it.
I think he just wanted to work in cookie dough.
Yeah. Great excuse to get that in there. Oh, actually, I downed it. Brilliant.
Yes, were you guys down? You in the UK, you guys did cookie dough because back in the day, like winter break or snow days, me and my friends, we'd buy some cookie dough, a big log of it, and it says you're supposed to cook it. We're like, nope, we're kids. We're good. We're 12, we're 13.
Yeah.
We just eat cookie dough and play video games.
I don't
cookie
know.
dough and like Sega.
Oh, getting some Genesis going on. Nice. I don't. Well, I mean, Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis was a phenomenon in the UK. I mean, my wife, that was her first console, playing the Sega, playing Sonic on there. But no, I don't. I mean, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I don't feel like cookie dough as what I'm imagining that to be in terms of like. I just don't think that's a thing for us.
Really? So it's just a tube, which then you would normally just cut up, put on your pan, and then you bake it and turn into cookies. So even here in the States now, they actually make cookie dough just for eating. So they actually have a special version of it, so you won't get sick from it because there's no eggs.
Right.
So hey, you just want it, and they put an ice cream as well. So yeah, cookie dough is a tried and true fallback of any teenager or any adult that feels like they want to go back in time and feel like a kid again.
And kind of like just wind back the clock. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that is a thing that particularly that we would do. I mean, like there's Ben and Jerry's cookie dough flavor, but that is clearly not the same thing. It's the closest match I can think of. Duchess 711, I'm full of Google for you. Now that's surreal. Duchess 711 has now hit us with a Nigel Knife quote that you'd said live. That's a new sort of slightly Inception meta moment. I really like that. That's great. The key to winning is to be wealthy and not a peasant. That way you are always a winner. Only peasants cry into cookie dough, chaps. That mean you're literally writing like Nigel Knife right now. Like that is exactly right. That's exactly how he sounds.
Yeah, ain't me. I can't multitask like that.
Yeah, that's a bridge too far. We can't be doing that at all. Hey, you know what? Given that we're Burly Bird living right now, Stephen. Stephen, notice this is Nigel's going to be in the game, but
sure, yeah. Steve's here. Steve Murray's here. What's up?
Hey, brother.
America, USA.
Hey, man.
Brother? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually asked you. I know that we have quite similar tastes in like TV and film. Do you game? Do you play games?
Sure. Yeah, I game.
Yeah, man.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. On the Ghosts of Tsushima. I'm totally like gaming.
Tsushima.
Tsushima. Yeah, like I thought I was like 3/4 done a month ago, but I'm still 3/4 done right now. 24 hours later.
Is this a sort of like? By the way, you sounded like Joe from Family Guy there. But there.
A little.
This
yeah, sure.
it's sort of like a Peter. It's like a hyperbolized version of you, which is that's great. This bit is just taking on like this is spawning like a whole new thing. Like this is off the rails right now. I love it.
So many legs that work like mine.
The lead is on.
Like a spider. So many legs. Actually, it was weird. I was actually working on Patrick Warburton and
no way.
I was working that, but I was going to do like a mashup. Oh, please don't. Oh my God, I'm brain farting right now. The amazing voice of actor from Archer. Why am I brain farting? Oh my God.
Oh, dude, I feel like I want to just Wikipedia that immediately.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Why am I losing my mind? I'm looking up right now. So I was actually doing like I was doing a combo. Of course, my internet's not working anymore. H.J. Benjamin didn't come up. So H.J. Benjamin and Patrick Warburton, I was kind of creating a mashup because I could not do an impression of either of them individually. So I was just, making them come together.
Dude,
we'll see what happens.
The baritone you've got there, man, that sounds so good. I just got absolutely ruined there.
That was it. Like, what can I do with this impression?
Yeah.
Right.
Mike, just actually off the back of that, Mike just coming into chat here saying, I think we need a book of these quotes at some point. Just like a sort of a forever record of Nigel Knife quotes, both uttered by you and then written by the community. I just think that's so funny. It's sort of taking on a life of its own. Duchess always has a bit of this going on in our streams. It's very true. Very true.
It sounds wonderful as long as I get a part of that for my dowry if I ever find the love of my life.
Yes, do you have...
Love is so hard to get to.
Do you have...
Pardon me?
Do you have representation, Nigel? Do you have an agent that I should be aware of?
No. Are you offering your services, Mr. Jonathan Garrett?
Well, yes. I mean, I'd like to invite you to join the Burly Bird Media Network that is now continuing to evolve. I would love...
I get golden robes and chalices and beverages like this.
That's right.
Yeah, look at this. So delightful.
We only pay... We only pay our performers in goblets. That's how we're funded.
Well, you had me at gob,
Keep it that
and
way.
now I'm hooked forever with your ways of mystery. I like it.
Nigel Knife.
Nigel.
The Nigel Knife at the end is killing me, dude. It's so good, little hyphen. That's so good.
Losing Alpha.
I keep telling everyone, whenever this comes up in the chat, I feel like I just need to put the link to that montage that Mike posted up on the Xbox guide, because he's got this cut out. It's like a 3-minute montage of the entire, like, context for this bit. It's just sitting on the Xbox guide YouTube channel. I'm so glad that there's a custom thumbnail to it. Like, he really went the whole 9 yards to get that out there. Which is great.
I do like the custom thumbnails. Great too. I did take a look at it.
That's brilliant.
I was like, wow, Mike's got it going on.
Oh yeah, man. Xbox guide's cooking.
Knows how to make the thumbnails. Yeah.
Well, we
You guys are
decided
our
like
live kid.
we decided pretty early on with us doing System Link that actually the most fun part of doing any of these live streams is always with people. I have done some stuff solo, but I'll just put a grenade in my shoe. But having this, like our back and forth, or having, you know, being able to engage with chat, is always the best part of this. We realized pretty quickly that actually having like a collaboration, like, you know, not just doing a talking head show, but having like a proper podcast, having a constant second, like a co-host, really made a big difference to our enjoyment of doing this, because of, you can imagine it is a bit of a time sink between like the editing and the uploads and all of that stuff. So having someone that you know you enjoy spending time with, and we were doing it anyway. We were playing on a Wednesday and Saturday night anyway, so being able to sort of like reconfigure our streaming schedule under Burly Birds to sync up with that, just made a world of sense to us. I imagine, obviously, you know, given you probably spend quite a bit of time, Stephen, now, you probably spend quite a bit of time in isolation in the booth, right? Like, it's not stuff like the stuff, the kind of projects you work on, you're not recording with the rest of the cast, right?
Yeah, there's like no table reads, at least the projects I've worked on. So it's myself. Just you know, sometimes they'll send me who I'm playing off of, which is cool. If there's like something that's interesting, working on something, maybe something that may be something interesting,
right?
Where I actually do really want to play up of one line they may say, just add some comedic tone to just a minor part of a role I'm in, and I'm looking forward to that. But otherwise, yeah, it's just it's giving the options too. And for us to pull back that curtain just a little bit, I'm going to provide multiple takes on each line and each scene, how it can play out. So so then the editor, the producer, and the audio engineer will be like, hey, this works with that response, or the person that comes up after you, you know, the lead-in that I have makes sense, or actually the scene itself, what's going on in the background. So they have to take that all into consideration. So I'm like, you know what? They always say minimum of like 2 or 3 takes. I actually message ahead of time, like, are you fine if I provide like 5, 6, or 7 takes on certain lines? And the majority of the time they're like, absolutely, thank you so much. And because they're like, you know, they don't only get charged more per se too, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, I want it to sound amazing.
Sure.
I'm like, these talented people have, you know, invested in me to make their words come alive, these visions come alive, these scenes come alive. So if I got something in the back of my head, I'm going to toss it out there, and you know, if you can make it work, or it works great with the next line in that I don't know about the next character, then that's fantastic. So yeah, that's how it works out. You know, I will get live directed, and so that can kind of like fine tune the process, so it's a little bit faster sometimes. But yeah, it's just like here you go, minimum of 3 different versions. I've done 16 versions before of
wow.
Like, small, like, few lines.
Keeping that fresh that's the work, isn't it? It's keeping it sort of in a way that there's obvious differentiation between your takes, and it's not just sort of like an obvious repeat of a previous effort. Like that's the real work, isn't it? That's the craft of what you do, is making them unique.
Yeah, and then that's not to back up just a little bit. That's not just like one sentence, one short sentence.
Sure.
Like 5 words. I can't do that, because at the end of the day, like, wow, that sounds like shit. Because you're doing something that's so far off you know, the dialogue of any human being, how they would speak. But if it's like 4 or 5 different sentences or an entire scene, I can portray like a lot of different ways. But yeah, I mean, normally I can whip out like 3 really quick, boom, 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 boom. From there, then I gotta pause and think about, all right, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do the approach? Am I coming in hot? Am I changing my cadence? Usually the easiest fallback is a cadence change.
Yes, nice. Different emphasis.
Pull the Christopher Walken. Yeah, pull the Christopher Walken of removing all of the punctuation. So you remove the punctuation, and now you're just taking them words and you're acting out everything as it's like flowing. It's not, you're taking breaths, and it can really be very interesting as an actor to approach it like that. I'm sure as the writer you'd be like, wow, this is frustrating. Why are they doing this? But you never know until you do it.
No, see, that's interesting you say that. Like, because as a writer, like, especially when I've been writing like scripts for like youth productions and stuff for my school, I love being surprised by my actors. I love having like a sort of, I've written it in a certain way. I know I'm writing it for them, but their read on something, I want to have like a different cadence or a different rhythm. That to me has always been interesting. I like being surprised by the people I'm directing. So that has value for me, certainly. Like I invite that. Certainly from young people, because I feel like I want them to have some ownership as well. And when they're a young actor doing their early sort of qualifications, I feel like having the ownership over their own work, I think, is really empowering. But that also can be tough as well.
I mean, there's so much involved. I mean, you're open to that. They're students. They're growing.
Yeah.
They're trying new things, and you understand that. Other people that work on different creative projects, they want it how it is written, and I can understand that. They have a vision. I write a lot of commercials. That's my full-time job. I write a lot of advertising. And if I send out a script, and I want a voiceover actor to do it a certain way, and they don't, I kind of like, hey, there is a reason to that. Now, you can do it your own way, but also provide what I wrote. That's why I look at it. Do what I gave you, and then your own interpretation, totally awesome. But if you don't give me what I wrote, there's a reason for it. There's
totally.
A reason why
I hear you on that.
So
give me the take as written, and then you get to have your fun run. That was something that I know that I remember seeing it behind the scenes on Parks and Recreation, the sitcom, where they talked about how they'd always do like a few takes of the scripted scene, and every scene they would let the actors do one fun run, where they could just go crazy and kind of do their alternate dialogue, or just have a completely different approach to the same scene. But they'd always have the version written locked down. They'd always have that done first. And that's fair enough.
You have to. You have to provide what you're tasked to do, what you're getting paid to do, what you're assigned to do, and then afterwards, you should have a little bit of fun, as long as it's not too time consuming. I don't know. I always kind of weigh that. I don't want to do 10 minutes of extra stuff, and have the editor go, why is this person doing this?
Yeah.
So if you have that relationship prior to that, where you're like, hey, what do you envision? Can I do this? Can I do that? I want to be on the same page as you. And it's usually just a quick back and forth, a quick emails or a quick phone call or text. And then I'm always about getting people on the same page as fast as possible. Assumptions do not lead to positive results in an effective manner at all. Ever. No,
absolutely. So Nigel, I imagine, you have sort of cultivated your... Sorry. I imagine you've cultivated your...
It's cultivated a new word for you, young man.
It is. I've just tried to, for the first time. I feel like you've cultivated your method over time. You've really sort of shaped your approach to performance. And I was curious, sort of, if you could speak perhaps to your method as an artist, as a creator.
So out of the blue, I'm an artist now, a drifter, a vagabond, someone that just hems and haws over money, goes across streets and goes, hey, buy my art, or let me perform for you. Is this what you're saying I do on a daily basis as how I maintain my wealth?
Isn't this who you are?
I've never
started to talk like you.
I've never led you to... Where have I led you to things? Have you read my Bible? Of course I have my own Bible. Who doesn't have an own Bible? My God, I'm from Essex. Of course I do. I put the sex in Essex.
You
yes.
do.
This is who I am. Nigel.
By the way, someone just put I put the sex in Essex. Just have that in the chat right now. Just have that exist. Just I need that to exist on the internet forever. Or clip this out, or just have the put the sex in Essex. That's never been said before. I love it. Duchess 711, what we do in the dude. So thank you so much for referencing. I don't know whether you've seen this, Stephen. It's an FX comedy called What We Do in the Shadows. It's
Yes.
Oh,
Brilliant.
dude. Okay. My wife and I are obsessed with it right now, and Duchess711 just mentioned this in the chat. What We Do in the Shadows, the series, has a ton of ad-libs and improv, and it's brilliant. Yeah, the actor that plays Laszlo, I believe he was in the IT crowd in the UK. I forget his name. But hysterical.
Was he in the IT crowd?
Yeah, he was. He was in the original British version.
Yeah, well, Matt Berry was in the IT crowd.
That's it, Matt Berry. Yes, Laszlo. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, oh my God, he's Laszlo. Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's. Oh, thank you.
For some
And
reason,
actually,
I was thinking, yeah,
Duchess just threw that in there.
somebody else.
Yeah, that's it. Duchess just threw that in there as well. It's Matt Berry, and such a talented actor. And there's so many quotations of his that are just make me howl. Like any time where he says, he's like, you shouldn't believe her because she speaks the bullshit. Just so his intonation, it's so good. Like all of his lines where he'll always talk about like not caring what other people think. It's like I don't give a fuck. His name was Mike. It's just the best. It's a show that we're obsessed with.
Oh, Matt Berry's he is a treasure.
Yeah.
From oh my God, Toast of London and everything else. I mean, he's just brilliant. And,
yeah. I think Nigel.
I'm a big fan.
I think Nigel's kind of like evoking him a little bit. I think there's a little bit of.
He's a little bit.
He's a little bit.
I tried to talk to Nigel and have him not do too much Matt Berry with the pause points. And the diction.
Yeah.
You know,
where he says
I
"Quiet, Gizmo, you're causing trouble in the household."
Yeah. I tried to tell him not to do that. Something may lean toward it, but sometimes Nigel, he's a beast of his own. I mean, he didn't even answer your last question. He just went on some rant about Essex and never responded.
And about having a Bible.
Yeah, about his Bible. I mean, that's Nigel. He's a character that's been around for a very long time.
That's actually something I hadn't considered. He has. That's something I hadn't considered as well. Just opening this up now to the Twitch chat, just in our live format. Does anyone have any questions for Nigel and his background and where he's at right now? If there's anything you'd like to know, please weigh in the chat because I'm sure Nigel Knife has a perspective.
From the spot.
Yeah, he would. He would. He would love to be stretched and challenged at every turn. Absolutely.
True. When Nigel signed up for this, he's like, stretch me.
Me
as far as you can.
Stretch me out, sir. That was his goal. Absolutely right.
I want to be 7 feet tall, not 6'2", said Nigel. Stretch me.
Actually, Stephen, how tall are you?
Oh, yes. I'm 6'2".
You are 6'2". That didn't just come out of nowhere. That was okay.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So sitting down, I'm not as tall.
That makes sense. But it's I mean, I'm a very British 5'9". Just
oh wow.
Just average height.
5'9".
Just a little 5'9". A little 5'9" going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's well, I mean, I assume that you're 5'9" because of your rugby thigh. Almost like,
yeah, all my growth went into my thighs.
You're double boned in the legs, of course, which makes you very strong and sturdy on a windy day. You won't get knocked down.
Sturdy. Well, Nigel, now that I've got you, Duchess711 wants to know, are you a member of the nobility, and where is your ancestral seat?
Well, of course, Nigel Knife is, he's an earl. He's an earl of Essex.
Yeah.
His mother was a Brit. His father was better, being an American.
Of course.
And, obviously, living in America, you learn the ins and outs of the education system, the unemployment system, the lottery system, and the next thing you know, you're living the good life, as they would say, and
good life.
Stream with good life with this, of course, man
Remind
known as
deployed.
Jonathan Garrett.
There's a mole on
And we're here, living the land of luxury, where the streets are paved of gold, and of course, he turns into an Irishman. No.
Yeah, I know.
But
I
yes.
thought he was going a little bit Irish. That's great.
Yeah. I had a little bit of something in my mouth. I was like, oh crap.
Oh, quick, compensate with Irish. Mongoose General
Yeah.
asks, because we half addressed it, but Nigel, I'm gonna press you for an answer here. What is your job?
Press away.
What is your job?
Press away.
What is your career? What does that look like?
What does it look like? I mean, when you look into the sun, what do you see? You see everything and nothing all at the same time. You see blindness if it hits you too hard. This is my job, is to educate, to be who I am, to make you feel better about yourself, but not to really make myself feel better about being better about you. And that's the words I'm saying currently. That's Nigel Knife in a nutshell. And you, of course, can buy my works at nigelknife.com or .biz if you want to dive into that as well. Nigel Knife.
No. Nigel Knife having his own website is exactly what I needed. That was important that we established that
Nigel
law.
Knife never will give you a straight answer, as you can
No,
tell.
no, he will not. But read it sort of like that was like the equivalent of do your own research. That's great. If you want to formulate your point, do your own research, friend. Visit my website.
Visit my website, and I'll mention the sun, maybe a lunar eclipse as well, and Haley's comet's coming. Oh, look that way, Nigel Knife.
So good. So good. NigelKnife.biz. I hope that link actually goes somewhere. That someone's now just bought that to prevent you from having it.
We're gonna stop him now. It's worth $9.99. He'll pay us $10.
He'll do the best he can, he will.
He's gonna take it. And he's gonna pay us big money. It's called squatting. It's called squatting on sites. You squat away.
You definitely also, like, in the last answer, there was a little bit more Chris Walken did start to arrive as well. There's a little bit of Chris in there. Great.
That was a very fast response to it. I never knew the Nigel Knife character would do that. I thought it would be very, you know, paced, well paced. Every word he says has a certain oomph to it, and oomph to it, if you're into the oomph or the umph, yes. Nigel Knife. But I guess you can do both. Who
Yeah,
knows?
you can. I think he's, you know what, he's flexible. He's loose with his vocals, and I think that's an important character trait, right? You know, you can't pin him down. You're not pinning down Nigel Knife. Come on.
I learned from my mistakes.
He's 7 feet of flexibility.
Absolutely, yeah. He had 5'9" of rugby
Wow.
thighs over here. That's what I'm rocking. That's all I got.
Oh my god.
NigelKnife.biz. Fantastic.
So freaking ridiculous.
He's got 2 websites. One's a business one. One's business. One's just a .com. It was the first I could get. Now I've gone Stewie Griffin now. That's no good. You know, I think why I think this works so well, and this is definitely Steven, but I think when I pitched you the original,
Well, back you can delineate between either. This is for Steve.
This is for Steven. When I pitched you our first interview, I knew pretty quickly afterwards that, like, okay, this should happen more than once. I had that instinct very early when we did Some Drivel, when we did that first interview, that we were about 10, 15 minutes in, and I was like, this 40-minute show, I could go again. I could have a banjo redo on this one. I could go for another one. And doing this as well, doing like the live streams with Mike, I realized how much I enjoy the rapport and the back and forth. It's the best part. I have done streams solo, and I'm sure I'll do other ones in the future, but they're never the thing that I now gravitate to, because time is precious. Just because there's only so many hours in the day when you're balancing so many responsibilities, that I choose actively to spend it, especially this kind of thing, with people that I'm really comfortable with, and just relax. Like I haven't thought once. No original thoughts have entered my mind while we've been streaming this time.
Oh,
It's the
we
best.
understand. It's pretty obvious. Look,
Yeah.
at, look at your gameplay, Mr.
Right?
Three Thumbs.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Nigel Knife.
What the hell does 3 thumbs mean?
Like, yeah.
That's great.
That's kind of what it means. But no, exactly. It's been it's just fun. I mean, just for the idea that I'm like, I'm going to do this. I've never done this type of stream where it's just like in and out of character, or just doing it a character and having fun and kind of building up the character from the ground up. I came with just a little bit of some concept form and pitched to you guys just just some execution ideas for it, and I'm like, shit, let's do it. End of the year,
100%.
something I haven't done before, have a little bit of fun, and in the holiday season, why not? You only live once, and if you come back, you don't remember it anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, mind wipe. Except the internet will. The internet's going to remember forever. But the
oh no,
the notion of it, I think, is just that when Mike and I started talking about streaming together, it was always just taking what we were already doing. We were already just hanging out. And that was important to us, that vibe was retained, that we were able to... We didn't feel like we were sort of doing like a, hi guys, tune into the channel. Like, it wasn't that sort of, I find, quite disingenuous and quite false. A lot of YouTubers and streamers sort of put on a persona. A persona not as in, it's like a hyperbolized version of themselves, rather than it being like a character or a bit or something with genuinely good writing or good improv. We were so determined that what we were doing was authentic, and it was just two friends hanging out. And that hopefully has come across when we've done our podcast, or whenever we've done like the live shows, is just two old friends having fun. And I think that certainly is the approach I wanted to evoke with us as well. I think that makes sense to me. Us just being able to be really loose and just, heaven forbid, relax and not feel like you're putting on a performance. It's funny just because it is, not because it's trying to be. I think that was the key thing for me. And just looking, speaking of which, looking into the chat there, Judge of 7-Eleven was questioning, is he drinking beer in a wine goblet? He was definitely raised in the colonies, and Mike came back with wine goblet, beer goblet, same thing to them. He probably puts ice in his scotch too. Like and subscribe. Abso-fucking-lutely. That is right.
Of course, in my goblet is the elixir of the royalty and the nobility. It is Colt 45. Much better than Colt 44.
Naturally.
Because, yes, indeed, I am a stallion in everything I am in life. And what I drink as well. Nigel Knife.
Stallion. Jesus.
I mean, you're a stallion if you're a Colt, right? I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's the criteria. That's how you earn that title.
Thanks for the lead-in on that. I wasn't going to do any bit about any Colt 45.
Yeah.
But now we just did.
Do
you have Colt 45 in the UK?
I actually don't know. And you would imagine so, right?
Do you know the reference? So you know it's a malt liquor, correct?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, I would imagine so. British pubs are pretty well stocked. I feel like that's something that we would definitely have, but I don't know for sure.
Not find, I'm sorry for jumping on you. You will not actually find in a pub, at least in the pubs around where I am, this on tap or available. It is a convenience store. End of the corner, oh yeah, it is hey, what's at the bottom of that cooler? Look at that. It's $2.99, and there's 7,000 liters of it.
Yep.
And it sounds great. It sounds great with a breath mint, and you're gonna be full the entire night.
Right as rain.
And then you're gonna go to jail, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, that is the kind of thing I feel like that will be served. It will be served like in the. Like, when I went to university in Southeast London, so, like in New Cross, Peckham, that kind of way. We had a pub called the Hobgoblin.
You went Southeast London? I went Northeast London.
No way! Wait, Northeast?
No way!
Would you have been... Would it have been, like, Islington kind of way?
No, it was Russia.
Oh.
Northeast. I wish I knew everything
I actually believed you.
You did?
I actually believed you for
my American accent, would you?
I was so invested in that. I was so in. You had me hook line. You know what I mean? Like, I was locked on that. That's so funny.
Where's my awards?
Mongoose, yeah, exactly, yeah. Mongoose, best liar. Mongoose in the chat, you're saying loose an awful lot. Is this Nigel Knife's influence? Absolutely. We're just keeping it loose, buddy boy. Keeping it loose, pal. You know what I mean? It's all good stuff. That's the plan. I'm just buying bullshit. That's great.
Oh, and I'm sure Nigel Knife should make comments on your gameplay, but
hey,
he's been distracted with fun banter instead.
He has, and what a great distraction to have. What a privilege to be distracted. with Nigel and Toe.
Super agent detected.
Let's see if we can come on Nigel's. Yes, you take hip fire to the extreme. Why aim? It's so much more fun to simply respawn. Terrible player. Nigel Knife.
Terrible player. Yeah, I mean, my stats, I think, are backing that up right now.
Yes.
It's not feeling great.
That's the Steve Murray influence, not Nigel.
Yeah.
Or it's the lack of the rubbish rodent. I mean, it's no mongoose general there. It's kind of like, you know, when the captain's gone.
Yeah, man. We reference this a lot when we're playing. Is that like if we've been separated in a game that's like a co-op game or a multiplayer game of some kind, we always sort of like give each other a hard time of being like, "Oh, where's my co-op partner then? Where are you at, pal? Where have you gone? You abandoned ship." So we feed off of each other's frantic energy when we're playing, and it's always good fun. Always. I feel like every video game, no matter how average it ends up being, is improved with co-op. I think if you're sharing in the sort of like, in the slight shitness of something, that in itself has value as an experience. Even if it's a bit underwhelming by yourself, it is definitely improved. Oh, I just blew up a friend.
Rule of thumb, remember, you're only as good as your weakest link. So play better.
That felt like a classic Nigel line. That felt like you were in the Twitch chat giving me that.
He was.
Yeah. That felt premium. That was premium Nigel.
It was well-tempered, well-paced.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that Nigel can speak quicker, he can do slower, he can draw. Wow, this character's he's an interesting dude.
This dude's got range.
If I do say so. Dude's got range. He's got lots of range, yeah.
And there's Joe. He's back. How would that not... Mike making a very good point. How would that not have come up before? The notion of you going to university in London. How would that not have been mentioned at any point in any of our previous conversations over the last several months of us working on fun stuff together? It's a really good point. And I mean, let's not stick with it. We don't have to sort of, you know, we don't have to discuss it any further. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to chat now. Like, this is, we're good. I fucked up. I made a mistake. I thought it was real. I genuinely really, like, I'm not doing a bit now. I genuinely believe that for like a good few seconds.
I actually felt bad. I worried that the joke was so bad that you muted my microphone and just actually ended the stream.
I've just gone, no.
That's that bad?
That's a wrap. That's done.
I'm like, oh no. Oh man.
What have I done? What have I done?
Not again.
Oh God. By the way, Mongoose, thank you for the bit. Coming in as the bit leader. I've got, Stephen, we've never actually talked about this, and I will do this now live with knowing that Mike's in the chat. We have our own in-joke because of you, which is that you came in once to a chat, to chat on one of our streams and like put like a bunch of bits in there, and it came up with a message that Stephen or Murdoch77 was the bit leader, and it caused such fierce competition unknowingly between you and Mike that it's now all about who can be the bit leader. And now Mike's put a single bit into this chat. He's officially the bit leader. You know what I mean? Like that. That's how it works. That's how intense that became. Which is so funny to me. Just the idea that that was ever a thing.
You crazy Brits, man.
Hey man, what the hell's going on? You crazy Brits. Crazy Brits, like, driving on the left-hand side of the road? Like, what's going on, man?
I, of course, do not drive. That's what chauffeurs are for. Driving is so beneath me. My calories are burned in other ways. Wink, wink. Nigel Knife.
And I'm assuming you meaning plenty of cardiovascular activity, I imagine. I can't imagine you'd be referencing anything else. Not, you know, putting the
Trading
sex in Essex.
stocks and bonds and Bitcoin, young man.
Absolutely.
That's where the energy goes.
That is. That's where it is. That's where it's at. I think it was the first one you dropped into. FYI, I can be outspent extremely easily. Just so nice that either of you two did any of that anyway. And we've been really lucky actually. We've had people gifting subs. I know Mike, you bought Big Manny a sub a couple months back, which was lovely. We have cultivated a really wholesome community here at Burly Bird, and it's something I'm really grateful for. Particularly having, you know, folks like yourself involved, Stephen. I mean, this has been a blast tonight. We will be wrapping it up shortly, but I did want to just sort of say, just as we kind of close out this evening, what a treat this last few months have been. We started Burly Bird Media back in April. Actually, the company started, and we have ballooned, and Mike can suck it. We have ballooned to a point well beyond anything I could have imagined, certainly in the first year of doing this.
Really? So, I thought you guys were actually around for a little bit longer than that, so that's very impressive.
So, I mean, I had my own website and my own channel, which is where actually Some Drivel was originally posted. Our podcast together, kind of. I've been doing that for a number of years, actually. Under sort of that hitbox. It was a gaming website that I had that Some Drivel was attached to. Burly Bird Media just became a natural extension of that, and me realizing I actually wanted to build something that could be a forever job for me one day. And not could, it's not an if, it's a when. I want that to be this to be my main thing. But being able to build this now at this early stage and have such a supportive community behind us, it is something that I will never take for granted. I know how fortunate I am to do what I do. And it is for people like Mike, you know, having grown up with him, gone to primary school with him, known him since he was 5. Having folks like yourself, Stephen, your enthusiasm, your creativity, it drives me forward. Having folks like yourself, Mike, everyone involved, just wanted to express my gratitude, a bit of Christmas cheer to everyone right now watching. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. This will be our last Burly Bird Media live stream, podcast, etc. of 2024. I am planning on publishing a roadmap for 2025 and just kind of outlining what's next through our Discord as well, and all our various socials. You can find us on Threads, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord at Burly Bird Media. Stephen, where can people find you? What have you got going on, and where can people find you online?
It's more about where they can find Nigel, of course. Stephen is just a peasant, as Duchess would say. You can find Stephen Murray on... he's on Facebook. It's Stephen Murray.
Makes sense.
I know. My website is voiceactorgarage.com, not .biz, voiceactorgarage.com. But it's basically, Instagram is going Murdog77, MURRDOGG77. Same with on Threads. If you're on Threads, guys, follow me on Threads. Murdog, MURRDOGG77. And I believe Blue Sky as well. I think it's the same handle on there. I just joined Blue Sky.
Nice.
And yeah, we're just doing all the good stuff. And thank you, seriously, Jonathan. It's been a fun year, just us chatting and doing those pods together, and just shooting the BS about life and projects. And it really does energize me talking with you guys, seeing your stuff, and just emailing and just ideas. And it definitely keeps me enthused to be creative. And that's sincerely said by me. Nigel, on the other hand, we don't know, but me, definitely.
Oh, that's lovely, man. Thank you. And I know, given the amount of time we've spent working on this stuff together, that that's from the heart and that's truthful. So thank you, man. That is lovely to say. Final thing, obviously, is really just to wrap up with just saying a final tip of the hat to this community and to what we've built. I can't wait to share with the stuff that we've been working on, and the plans we have in the future to evolve what this thing is. But you all right now, every single one of you that are watching tonight, that check out our VODs on our YouTube channel, that dive into our Discord and are back and forthing together, you will always be the foundation, the first steps of this community. And just can't wait to ride the rapids with you all and enjoy every single minute of it along the way. Commie Colin just coming into chat there. Great stream, guys. Before you go, I have a question for Nigel. Commie Colin asks, what is the capital of Aruba? Now, I'm feeling like this might be like some kind of secret in-joke, and this might be someone that you know. Nigel, take it away.
Well, I mean, I could tell, of course, Colin, the capital of Aruba, but he wouldn't know it. Even if I said it again, he'd forget it because, of course, he's just a simple American, maybe in New York, and we don't talk to those New Yorkers. It starts with an O, Colin. Look it up. Nigel Knife.
Oh, that was sort of sultry, like a sultry delivery of Nigel there. That's so good. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Merry Christmas to wherever you are watching around the world right now. Thanks so much, and we will be back in 2025 with a whole new slate of new podcasts that are cooking up and some returning favorites as well. Burly Bird Live, System Link both be continuing on our Saturday nights here for Burly Bird Live, and then Wednesday midweek for System Link, our live gameplay podcast. Merry Christmas, folks. We'll see you in 2025. Take care.
Merry Christmas.